The old lion. There was a time when the very sound of his roar made the earth itself feel smaller. A time when shadows bowed as he passed, and even the wind dared not whisper too loudly in his presence. But that time had slipped quietly into memory. Now, in the far corner of an abandoned cave, an old lion lay stretched upon cold stone. His mane, once fierce and blazing, had faded into a tangled crown of grey. The muscles that once carried him through battles and hunts had grown weary, trembling at the slightest effort. He was a king, stripped of his throne by time itself. Outside, the savannah glowed gold beneath the burning afternoon sun. Dust swirled lazily, and dry grass rustled with a kind of restless whisper, as though the world were waiting, watching. And it was. The first visitor arrived with slow, deliberate steps, an ox, broad-backed and heavy-hooved. He paused at the mouth of the cave, nostrils flaring as he recognized the fallen king. "Well," the ox snorted, stamping the earth, "look at you. Once mighty, now barely able to lift your head." The lion blinked, silent. The ox lowered his horns and surged forward, not to attack, but to mock, shoving the lion aside with cruel satisfaction. Dust rose. The lion winced, and the ox walked away, shoulders shaking with laughter. But the humiliation didn't stop there. A stag approached next, eyes gleaming with something darker than spite, triumph. He had lived too long in fear of the lion, waiting for the day he might roam without worry. "Where is your roar now?" the stag taunted, stepping close enough that the lion could feel the warmth of his breath. "Where is your strength?" He struck the lion with a sharp kick of his hoof, then fled before courage could fail him. As the day wore on, more creatures gathered. A wild boar, a jackal, even a scruffy goat emboldened by the fall of a giant. Each took their turn. Each delivered a sting of insult, a jab of mockery, a blow that would never have been dared in the lion's prime. And the lion endured it all in silence. But inside his clouded eyes something quietly shifted. Not anger, not shame, but a deep, aching sorrow. When at last the cave grew darker and the visitors drifted away, the old lion exhaled long and slow, like a final truth being released into the world. "Once," he murmured, voice thin but steady, "I ruled with strength. Now I teach with weakness. Even the lowliest creatures fear only power, not respect." He lifted his gaze toward the fading light outside, the savannah stretching endlessly, glowing with the last breath of day. "But let them remember," he whispered, "it was greatness that gave them the courage to mock me, and time that made them bold." His eyes softened, not with defeat, but with understanding. A king is not only the roar he once had, but the legacy he leaves behind. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to help the channel grow.